Hey guys, I'm Rhaj Paul. This is #Tailored. Welcome to episode 2, Cut Clean. We're gonna see who? Rosca McDonald. Why? Because we're getting into the suit making and we want to see exactly what the process is to bring a beautiful suit to life. So join me. Let's go. McDonald, that's a name that's associated with bespoke quality menswear. We're here in your space, man. Thank you so much for having #Tailored here.
My pleasure.
We've heard your name, but what we want to know is, who's that dude? Who is Rosca McDonald?
The fundamental principles of what I live for are two things. Love God, love people. What I do is really about loving people.
See?
In other words, it's not just about creating a product to make money,
right.
But I believe in enhancing people's lives with what I do. So when you come to get something made from me, it's not just transactional. I believe in relationship.
I see.
So that's love people. There's certain principles that I adhere to, which is love and fairness and respect and those things.
Okay.
So that's the foundation, and then comes the creative part of me. I mean, art has always been who I am and what I've done as far as I can remember. And so like around 4th, 5th form at Harrison College, I came across tie-dye. I was always an artist, but the thing is that I didn't want my art to be a painting on the wall.
Okay.
Right? I wanted something that is practical, that was functional.
Right. Of living in a sense.
Yeah, and so in lower 6 now, because I did art, biology, and maths, I had a substitute art teacher. She introduced me to fashion. She said, hey, there's a small 3-line section here on the art syllabus for fashion. What do you consider that? And I thought, that's not a bad idea.
Right.
And I have always been meticulous with what I do. Always paying that attention to detail.
Okay.
And so,
just naturally? Just naturally.
And what was interesting was that it's only in later years I began to make the connection between what I did at A levels and what I do now.
I see.
Biology, body, anatomy, understanding, motion, movement,
form,
right?
Yeah.
Mathematics.
Right. Measurements.
It's very technical. When it comes to pattern making, whenever I have like students come in and I said, okay, calculate this, the first thing they go for is calculate it. Stop that. Keep your mind sharp, right? And work things in your head. And art, of course, is the creative aspect of it. So everything, they don't know sometimes, but I believe that God guides our steps as we go through life, and then you see
things come together.
How things weave,
Definitely.
how things are woven together.
I dig it. Nice, man. So Rosca, considering that off of the fashion program, there are many directions that you could have gone. I'm interested in knowing why suiting, why suit making, why I guess particularly menswear tailoring. I'm interested in knowing why, and also I know that subsequently you also did a training with Saville Row Academy with Professor Andrew Ramroop. So I want you to tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I can tell you this, having graduated community college music associate program, then the program is heavily pronged on women's wear. Right? So I mean, year in, year out, most of those collections are female collections. Right? Around the time I was kind of looking to see what they had for men.
Right.
And very little was being provided at that sort of time, and so I gravitated towards menswear. So in the earlier years, it was more design and collections.
Right.
So I pretty much, coming out of community college, I did a lot of reading, a lot of research. In fact,
personal research.
Yeah, personal research. Even today, listen, you never stop learning. Never. Right? And so I know I've reached a certain level of skill in terms of what I do. Am I contented with that? No. And I will never be contented with that, because there's always something new to learn. If you show me a technique that you use that I think gives a better result, that is better than mine, I have no issues shelving what I do and incorporating that, because at the end of the day, it's about producing a top quality, world class product. But again, I've always been very meticulous about detail and cut and line and fit, and to me, tailoring epitomizes that.
Okay.
Because one of the key things about bespoke tailoring is the maximum reduction of bulk. You don't want bulk.
Gotcha.
The thing is, clean lines. To have clean lines, you gotta have clean finishes.
Right.
So everything that's done on the inside has pretty much results in that.
Right.
So this
kind of like a light footprint in a sense.
Light footprint. So this lining is actually what is replaced
to give that little body that it needs.
Give that little body.
I see. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So those little details really is like, wow. I would not even thought to do that. And the thing is that you're not going to see those things in books.
No.
So that's the other aspect of it. Then there's Carrie Festa in November, I think, of 2017, when I met Andrew Ramroop.
Okay.
Professor Andrew Ramroop.
Yeah.
The first black master tailor on Saville Row. Trinidadian born, migrated to the UK in the late 60s, early 70s, worked his way up to actually become the owner of Maurice Sedwell on Saville Row. If you know anything about bespoke tailoring, you know that Saville Row is the place.
Creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme when it comes to men bespoke tailoring. And so he was actually offering, he has Saville Row Academy, a school that has been in existence 12 years in the UK.
Right, training.
So he decided to bring an integration of that to the Caribbean. When I found out about that, I was like, you know what? Okay, this is my opportunity. You can read books, you can pick up things, you can come across your own details, but when you have somebody who is a master at it, then there are certain things that they can translate to you. Even things that they don't speak and things that they don't say, they're things that you learn from being in the presence of somebody.
Observing.
Just observing. So I mean, what I would say is that if you want to progress, be patient, take risks, make sacrifices. Because oftentimes that is what it takes to get to the next step. I am so happy that I actually did that, because what that did then was take me to the next level. Right.
Up until 2017, that you would have been how many years into your own development? About 20 years?
Yeah, about 20 years.
Yeah, well, 20 years. So 20 years you're crafting, you're figuring it out, you're self-teaching, you're experimenting, and then you have the opportunity to hit up Saville Row Academy in Trinidad with Andrew Ramroop. Yeah. So what did that bring to your levels to move up?
Right. I mean, I was one of the more mature students in the class. There are a couple of us there, and I know we've had a certain level of knowledge and skill.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I didn't go with what can this man teach me. My thing was that I'm going as a blank slate. But let me pretend I don't know a single thing.
I see.
Less what I know becomes a hindrance to my own learning and development in that program.
Those details that you're pointing out to me on the suit, the collar, the buttonholes, you know what I'm saying, like the flaps, how the pockets are made and so on. When you're in the construction of the suit itself, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell me more about the anatomy of the jacket, you know? Talk to me.
Okay, so we can't talk about the anatomy of the suit without talking about anatomy, period. Right? Similarly, where we have a body, if we didn't have a skeleton, we couldn't stand, we couldn't function as we do with a skeleton. So a suit has a skeleton, and that's what you don't see. So the better the skeleton, the better the suit.
I see. All right.
So to speak with anatomy of the suit, we have to speak about the internals. So we have canvas, different types of canvases that we actually use. There's something called domet. So we actually have to build up the chest area. Now what a jacket does, and it's supposed to do, is enhance the figure. Okay. Now the thing is that none of us have perfect bodies. There's certain parts of your body that are going to be a little more developed that take you through life.
True.
You might not even realize it, and you might think, wait, I buy a shirt, but one sleeve is longer than the next. That's not necessarily the case. It might be that you have a drop shoulder. So I could exaggerate it like this. It might be drop right, it might be drop left. As you get older, you may get a little more corpulence, and this is again in the body type, so a little more corpulence around the midsection. Right? And what happens is that with that X-ray in there, what tends to happen is that there's a forward, and so what happens is shoulders go back. Right? And then some people might be a little hunched. So what happens is that you have a longer back length. So what Bespoke does really is to take all of those features into consideration and create a suit that is going to enhance your figure. One thing about Bespoke is that it is mostly sewn by hand. And so this takes countless hours. This is not mass produced in a factory in Bangladesh or China. From a mass-produced pattern, and you can get the pattern as well because the pattern is very important.
Of course.
So I would take your measurements,
right?
And then from those measurements, I'm gonna create a pattern from your direct measurements, suited for you.
Yeah.
And if we're doing made to measure, what made to measure is basically I take a pattern, maybe a pre-made pattern, input your dimensions, and create the suit.
Okay, I see.
One other key thing is that we want broad shoulders. We want that illusion of a V taper,
Got you.
right?
Got you.
Especially as you get older.
Right. You lose that athletic physique. Yeah. But you still want to look sharp.
You still want to look sharp.
Right.
You want to look sharp. So we have a nice strong shoulder and we have a nice cinch waist, right? That actually gives that illusion and makes it look taller too. So it's all about making the client look good. So when you wear a suit and when you wear a Rosca Bespoke suit, you're not just wearing a suit, you're wearing confidence. Because when you look good, you feel good, you walk good. That is what you exude.
Rosca Bespoke Tailoring, how awesome was that? The amount of detail that goes into making a beautiful suit come to life is incredible. I mean, whether it's the amount of tools that are used, whether it's the handwork that's done, the flaps, the lining, the padding, the thread that is used, all the particular details that are important to making a beautiful suit, we took a look at, and we're so thankful for Rosca for inviting us over, seeing the process, going through some of the details, and yeah, that was pretty dope. So this is #Tailored. Stay with us.